This is Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please like, share, subscribe. If you're a current subscriber, you're greatly appreciated. Come on in, you know the routine. Make yourself at home. This week takes me back to Target, aka Target. Hit up a couple pawn shops, as well as have my 3D pick, my classic pick for the week. A little eBay and Amazon thrown in, so a little something. But before I get into what I picked up at Target and the pawn shops, not only do I collect movies, yes, I'm one of these wild individuals. I actually watch them. And on a weekly basis, I like to share some of the things I've watched either live in the theaters, physical media, or streaming on television. I'm gonna jump right into this with a 1987 action crime thriller, Number One with a Bullet. This stars Mr. Colt 45 himself, Billy D. Williams, Robert Carradine, Valerie Bertinelli, if you ever watched the television show One Day at a Time, Peter Graves from Mission Impossible, Doris Roberts. This is a couple of detectives assigned to investigate a murder and discover a trail of corruption. Very generic plot, nothing great, but it just has that funky 80s big hair, just kind of that little corny feel to it though. This is directed by Jack Smite and produced by Yoram Globus. So I wouldn't say it's a great 80s pick, but it's a nice kind of cult classic. It's a Kino Lorber pick. Get the opportunity, check it out. Number One with a Bullet. My next pick is a 2011 comedy starring Kristen Ritter, in relation to John Ritter, Kate Bosworth, Rachel Bilson, Jeff Stutz, and Justin Kirk. Comedy centered around two best friends who they're 20-something, they're kind of footloose and free, and one of them ends up getting pregnant and basically dealing with being single, being young, and being pregnant. This is directed by Kat Corio. Written and directed by Kat Corio. Was this like a really laugh out funny movie? Not really. It was more cute than anything. More of kind of a smirk and a chuckle type movie though, but it was a good watch. Get the opportunity. Life happens. My next pick, this to me is a cult classic, or should be a cult classic. This is a 1998 drama, fantasy, science fiction picture, Dark City. This was directed by Alex Proyas, starring Rufus Sewell, William Hurt, Kiefer Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly, and Richard O'Brien. It takes place around this guy who wakes up in this bathtub and just doesn't know who he is and what's happening. And it appears that the people he knows, their lives are changing, and it never appears to be daytime. So I don't give too much of the plot away. It's a very dark, different type of picture. I don't really know what to compare it to because it's just that different though. But if you like sci-fi, and it has kind of a 50s noir feel to it, like it's in the 50s. Everyone kind of has the dress and the cars. Everything seems to be a little bit from that era, which makes it even a little more interesting. But if you like the kind of off science fiction type of fantasy picture, you'll like Dark City. My next is actually a series of films, which I watched with my family over the past, I think like 5 or 6 weeks. I couldn't get it all in on one weekend. It's hard to get the boy to actually sit down and watch a movie with us. But this is the Insidious collection. The first Insidious came out in 2010, starring Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Ty Simpkins, Lynn Shay, and Lee Wanell, directed by James Wan. The second Insidious came out 2013, also Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Ty Simpkins, Lynn Shay, Barbara Hershey, directed by James Wan. The third installment, Chapter 3, this switched up the cast a little bit. Still had Lynn Shay, but you had Dermot Mulroney, Stephanie Scott, Angus Sampson, Leah Whannell. This is directed by Leah Whannell. I'll get to that in a second. And the fourth installment, which is actually called The Last Key, starring Lynn Shay, Lee Wanell, Angus Sampson, Kirk Acevedo, Caitlin Gerard. This is directed by Adam Robitel. It came out 2018. And the last one that just came out, we just saw the streaming last weekend. Insidious, The Red Door. It came out July 27th, directed by Patrick Wilson. This is starring Ty Simpkins, Patrick Wilson, Sinclair Daniel, Him Abbas, and Rose Byrne. And the whole collection is basically the spirits surrounding Lynn Shay. The spirits when she was a child, the spirits she experienced as an adult, and the experiences that her children have and her grandchildren. And what's funny about this, we were all watching this together. And I think it was probably either the third movie, The Last Key. I'll go to my wife. It's like, the guy from that, is he the same guy from The Conjuring? She's like, no, that's a different guy. I figured out. Yes, Patrick Wilson's the same guy from The Conjuring. So don't know why you can figure it out. My wife was like, okay, this is why I keep getting these two movies, Insidious and the Conjuring, all mixed up. Patrick Wilson. So probably a lot of you are like, duh, but I'm old. I'm getting a little slow. So interesting collection. It's kind of like a family horror film. It's not going to scare the shit out of your kids. So, but it might just make them jump a little bit. So it's fun family horror. I like to think it's nothing R-rated in there. Just a few ghosts kind of jumping out here and there. And it's more spooky or creepy than anything. So very fun collection. Now, without further ado, sit back, relax, have a drink, have a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. You can see Shaki just walking off here. We are back at the Black Cave. Back at the Black Cave. We are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. Have my pickups here. Let me get these scanned in and we'll jump right into it. Give me just a minute. Okay, we are back here. And just to jump into things, this is what I picked up at 10% Pawn. Not a thing. Queen of Pawns. Same thing. A lot of movies there, but most of the good stuff I already had. Well, all the good stuff I already had, or the stuff I was interested in, they already had. Target, aka Target, actually had two movies in hand. The Detective Night Rogue and Maggie Moore's. Had those in hand. Was actually up at the counter, scanned them in. First one was like $18. The other one was like $15, $16. I'm like, all right, y'all must be smoking something. I'm not paying that much. They pulled the okie doke on me. They had the $5. They had those movies in the $5 bin. So this is what I picked up at Target. Not a damn thing, but not to fear. I always have something in the corridors waiting here. Went to my old normal fishing hole, Cash America. Did pick up this there. Happiness is Peanuts Snoopy Adventures. This is a Warner Brothers release to add to my Charlie Brown collection. And let's see here. Yeah, 50 cents. That's what I paid for that. 50 cents. 50. So this is what I picked up at Cashmere Pawn. Now, I do have some eBay and Amazon picks here, so not to fear. I can get off with a documentary. Fantastic, amazing documentary. As if you needed another reason to hate Florida, this will give you a reason to hate SeaWorld. Blackfish. It's a documentary about killer whales and SeaWorld and basically how they're stored. I think he also has something about dolphins in there. Very dark, depressing documentary, but very informative. Just imagine if you were being housed in a room the size of a closet, and every day you get to go out maybe into a room the size of maybe your bedroom, and that's your life. That's basically what these killer whales are experiencing, and they wonder why. I don't know why he attacked us. Yeah, he doesn't want to be locked up in a closet. They also had a scene with these dolphins where they're actually killing dolphin babies, and how traumatic it affects actual dolphins, and they go into how intelligent these animals are. So fantastic documentary. If you haven't seen this, definitely watch it. Again, if you didn't need another reason to hate Florida, you'll hate SeaWorld after this. Blackfish, it's a Magnolia release, fantastic documentary. Next one, on the totally opposite spectrum, very feel-good movie about a talking pig. If you haven't seen this, or if you have, you know what Baram U means. Fantastic documentary, very cute film, Universal release, Babe. And you can't have Babe without having the sequel, Babe, Pig in the City, Universal release. Great two movies, great family film, especially if you have young kids, so they should love this. Babe, Pig in the City. Next, we have a classic, Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia, Kate Capshaw. It's a thriller type movie. I think it was like early 90s. What year was this? Can't see, the print is too small. But it's like in the 90s, I believe. But Michael Douglas is pretty much kind of the height of his career, same with Andy Garcia. It's a Paramount pick, Black Rain. Next, this is kind of when Anthony Michael Hall was at the type of his career. This is Robert Downey Jr. I think this is his drug years, when he was always constantly in the news and something constantly up his nose. And Uma Thurman, when she looked like Uma Thurman before all the plastic surgery and before Pulp Fiction. Johnny Be Good. This is the Olive Films collection. I think Olive Films is going out of business, so I think this is going to be out of print, or they'll sell it to some other, you might see this on Kino or something. So cute film, Johnny Be Good. Next, we have a Disney Blu-ray exclusive, Chevy Chase, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I heard he was a real asshole on Saturday Night Live, which I really believe. But nevertheless, it's a cute Disney family film. Man of the House. Next, I actually bought this with another Kino. It was like a 2 for I think $30, something like that. So it was a decent deal. And I think Original Gangster Kino was out of print, so it was an extra good deal. I haven't heard of this movie though, but Danny Aiello, a young Joe Pesci, Scott Glenn, Brooke Adams, Man on Fire. So it looks like a criminal thriller. It came out in '87. So an '80s movie. Man on Fire. You have the standard Kino look. Winding down here, this is another out-of-print series, The Prisoner, starring Patrick, is it McGoohan? And this is a network release. And I've just seen a few episodes. Basically, I think he's like a spy, and he tries to get out the spy business, and he's trapped in this city as a prisoner. So like a live city. I've just seen all of it, but it looks really cool and interesting. And kind of bland disc here. It almost looks like a bootleg. I'm not 100% positive that it's not. But this is the complete series. I think this is out of print. Got it at a real decent price too. So I think they're asking like a couple $100 for it, for the whole Blu-ray set. So of course I didn't pay anywhere close to that. So very cool pick. The Prisoner. And my 3D pick for the week, when I scan it in, it comes up as Draco. So don't know why. Well, I'm sure it's had a different release in a different country under a different name. But Dragon Apocalypse, not familiar with any of these names. Victoria Pratt, Corin Nemec, Gina Holden. This is with these 3D imports, I'm not sure who releases these. Looks like UFO maybe. Dragon Apocalypse. And for my classic pick of the week, yes, big surprise. If you've seen my last two videos, it shouldn't be a big surprise. The complete third season of Living Single. You have the whole cast there. You got Kim Fields looking awful fine right there. It's a Warner Brothers collection. It's part of my Thursday night lineup back in the day. Martin, Living Single, and New York Undercover. And just 3 discs for this. And this is my, if you want to call it, Target, Pawnshop, eBay, Amazon pickup. If you're familiar with the channel, you know what time it is. Time to separate the plastic from the artwork, see which one of these make the shelves, and get you good people on your way. Give me just a minute. Everything's scanned into my CLZ Movies app. C as in Charlie's Angels, L as in Living Single, Z as in Zombieland. One thing that didn't scan in is this. I actually had to put it in manually. And let's knock this out. everything laid out, ready to be put back in its proper place. As usual, I appreciate each and every last one of you tuning in, leaving comments. If you made this far, give me the big thumbs up, smash the like, ring that bell. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone be safe. Deuces.